Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It is Wednesday morning, as always, a coffee kind of morning. Hope everyone's doing well. Today, I want to do a tribute to a fine Canadian musician, international star, Mr. Myles Goodwyn, who fronted the band April Wine since 1969 till about March of this year, when he officially retired because of health reasons. And of course, we just lost him on the 3rd of this month, a couple of days ago. Excellent band, one of my favorite Canadian bands. An excellent guitarist, an excellent songwriter, an excellent singer. So I just wanted to do a small tribute to him. I should have done it a couple of days ago when he passed, but that work thing again. I'll try and get a picture of him. I have one in my opening, I think, and I'll show you his earlier pictures off of some of the albums that I have. I don't have all their studio albums, but I have, I think, 7 plus a big box set that I have of theirs. So, Myles Francis Goodwyn, born in 1948, Canadian musician. He was the lead vocalist and singer, songwriter, and principal songwriter for April Wine. 16 studio albums with April Wine and 2 on his own. He received the National Achievement Award in 2002 and the SOCAN Awards, at the SOCAN Awards in 2002, and the MCMA Lifetime Achievement Award as well. Born in Woodstock, New Brunswick. Yes, there is a Woodstock, New Brunswick. He helped form April Wine in '69 with the Henman brothers. You have David on guitar, Richie on drums, and Jim on bass. Basically they started out as almost like a garage band, and then they started out getting bigger and bigger and touring with all these huge bands, and they became a multi-platinum sales success. He performed in every April Wine release, and in the early 70s and 80s, right at their commercial success, there was tension in the band, just like any other band. And he disbanded April Wine, pursued a solo career, went to the Bahamas just to get away from everything, and then returned to Canada and reformed April Wine in 1992. I don't have any of their later stuff, but most of mine is the 70s and 80s. In December 20th, 2022, he officially retired from touring with April Wine due to his diabetes and poor health. His last vinyl performance, they came back for a kind of a reunion in March of this year, on March 2nd in Nova Scotia, and then he unfortunately passed away on the 3rd of this month at 75. So still fairly young, for sure. The band itself formed in Halifax, Nova Scotia in 1969, by the Henman brothers and Myles Goodwyn. And they first experienced success with their second album on record, which I'll show you in a few minutes here, in 1972. Reached top 40 in Canada, yielded 2 big hits, Bad Side of the Moon and a top 20 hit in Canada, and You Could Have Met a Lady, number 2 song in Canada. The greatest response internationally through the 70s and 80s came with songs like Could Have Met a Lady in 72, Tonight is a Wonderful Time to Fall in Love in 75, Roller in 79, I Like to Rock in 1980, Sound of the Gypsy Queen 81, Just Between You and Me in 81, and all that out of 16 studio albums. Maybe not as big in the States as they hoped to be, but they became internationally known as well. I've already talked about the Henman brothers. Pardon me. So they came out with their very first album, their debut album, in 1971. Okay. There's the Henman brothers and Myles in the background there. And this one, I'm not going to show you the vinyl because it takes too long. Some beautiful purple vinyl. They released all their studio albums on in colored vinyl this year, which was really good, or last year. It did have one single on it, Fast Train, which became a top 40 hit in Canada. Peaked at number 38, and that established Myles as the main songwriter for the band. The album itself is kind of progressive. It's kind of not as polished as their later stuff, obviously, being a debut album. But it's got some cool tracks on there. But that established Myles as their main songwriter for sure. But the success of the single led them to create a second album. Jim Henman left the band in '71, was replaced with Jim Clench. And then the band in '71 spent time touring the college circuit. And they opened Montreal's Place des Nations for the Guess Who, which was big at the time as well. And then they became touring larger venues with bands like Ike and Tina Turner, Jethro Tull, Badfinger, Stevie Wonder. So they were becoming bigger and bigger and touring with these huge, huge bands at the time. So on record, this is a different cover. On record, it does have a record on it. This is the big Bell Records version, 1972 release, but it's a really, really good album. They did a cover version of Hot Chocolate's You Could Have Been a Lady, which was a big hit for the band, and hitting number 2 in the Canadian charts, and also cracked the U.S. charts, where it stayed 11 weeks at number 32. And then Bad Side of the Moon, which was an Elton John, Bernie Taupin song, almost completely different version. I love Elton John's version of it, but I think these guys rocked it up for sure. And became a minor hit in the States, obviously a big hit in Canada, and still playing on classic rock radio. The album itself went gold, and then that allowed them to record a third album. So as they were recording their third album, Dave and Richie Henn quit, and then they held auditions to replace the drummer, which was Jerry Mercer, and guitarist Gary Moffat. So they got a couple of great artists in there. And then they brought out Electric Jewels, which was their third studio album. This one's on beautiful red swirly vinyl. Electric Jewels, another big album for the band. Again, they're just getting better and better as they go along. So Weeping Willow, big hit for the guys. Just Like That, Lady Run, Lady Hide, another great track. Then they went on a electric adventure tour, hitting pretty much every Canadian venue in the market. And then they also went on this big tour. They put out a live album, and Myles Goodwyn didn't really like it well, but it went gold because of the sound quality. I guess it wasn't the greatest. I don't have Stand Back, which is their 5th studio album. That went double platinum. Tonight's a Wonderful Time to Fall in Love, I Wouldn't Want to Lose Your Love. And then they went on to tour with Heart and Thunder Mug. And then Jim Clench left, went to join Bachman Turner Overdrive, and Steve Lang came in to replace him. I also don't have, and which I wish I did, I thought I did, their next release, The Whole World's Going Crazy, hit platinum status. And then Like a Lover, Like a Song, and then their 6th album, Forever Now, was another platinum seller. You Won't Dance With Me was a big hit. And then on March 4th in '77, they were booked to play a charity concert in Toronto's El Macombo. And the co-liner was this band called the Cockroaches, which everyone figured out it was the Stones. So imagine April Wine, this young band from Canada, playing with the Stones. The venue was sold out, and the performance was captured on a live in El Macombo album. That got them their first chance to tour the U.S. with the Stones and Styx and Rush. Some huge, huge bands at the time for sure. And then Brian Greenway joined the band, which gave him a 3-guitar powerhouse. And that allowed also Goodwyn to switch to keyboards when they were playing the ballads. And then First Glance came out, which was their 7th studio album. Okay. This one's on pink swirly vinyl. They all released their all albums in vinyl, or sorry, in colored vinyl, which was really cool. First Glance was an immediate hit. Let Yourself Go, Get Ready for Love. Third single, Roller, which became an international hit. It stayed on the Billboard's 100 for 11 weeks. And the album itself stayed on the chart for just as many weeks for sure. It became April Wine's first gold album outside of Canada, and they toured with Rush, played with Triumph, Starcastle, Tease, Journey, Rolling Stones, Atlanta Rhythm Section. I mean, these guys were backing up these huge, huge bands. And then they released Harder, Faster in '79. Okay. This one's on white swirly vinyl. Harder, Faster, again another big, big hit. Say Hello, I Like to Rock, both popular in the States and Canada. Another multi-platinum release. They end up touring with Styx and Rush and Toto and Boston and Squeeze and Blue Oyster Cult. I mean, they were just right at the peak for sure. Right at the peak. And then they toured and played at the Monsters of Rock Festival in England, which was cool. And then they brought out their most commercially successful album, Nature of the Beast, which is '81. This one's on orange vinyl. This is my favorite album by them. Just Between You and Me was a huge ballad hit. And Sign of the Gypsy Queen, another multi-platinum success in Canada. And also the first album to reach platinum status in the U.S. and internationally, sorry. And they played with Harlequin, Crocus, Neil Young, Michael Schenker Group, King Crimson, and then they went on an 18-month hiatus. And then they put out their 10th studio album. This is the last one I have of them. This is Power Play. This one just on black vinyl. But Power Play wasn't their, it didn't become their biggest hit. It's kind of a letdown from their previous album, Nature of the Beast. But it was still a decent album, still a great album. Enough is Enough, great rocker, If You See K, Anything You Want. They became popular on MTV at the time, of course, that all those videos, and even though it wasn't a big hit, it still became platinum. Then the Power Play tour, they played with Saga, which is another great Canadian band. I'm going to do those guys one day. Eddie Money, Uriah Heep, and then that's pretty much the last studio album I have of these guys. They put out a bunch more, and then of course he quit the band, or he disbanded the band. Then they came back in '88 and moved back to Canada. But April Wine themselves was inducted to the Canadian Music Hall of Fame at the Juno Awards in 2010 in St. John's, Newfoundland. And Myles Goodwyn and Greenway accepted the honor. And then, again, we just lost him. In December 2020, Myles Goodwyn announced that the world would no longer be touring with the band, turning over his vocal and duties to Mark Perrant. I've had a long career, happy, fulfilling. I've seen much of the world, and I'm grateful to continue support of radio and my fans worldwide. But touring has become very difficult in recent years because of my diabetes, and my health comes first. So unfortunately, my touring days are officially over. He only focused on writing and recording, and unfortunately, Myles Goodwyn would pass away in Halifax, Nova Scotia on December 3rd, 2003 at sorry, 2023 at the age of 75. So a fine Canadian musician and singer-songwriter, a fine, excellent band in April Wine. And I just thought I'd do a small tribute to the band and hope I did it justice. So there you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Check out April Wine if you don't know them. They're amazing. Oh, I also have this awesome box set. This is 67 tracks, I think. Came out in 2009. It's 4 CDs. If you want a good look at April Wine, this is the one to get, the April Wine collection. And it's amazing stuff. So there you have it. Love you all. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye now.